everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be making another yew wood bowl. So I've got this lovely thick piece of wood here, and there is a little bit of grain detailing there. There is a large notch on the right hand side, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill the little hole here, mount it on the lathe this way round, and then lose that in the actual curvature of the bowl itself. And then what I'm planning to do is use some of the coloured dyes and give a really weird and wacky paint job to the outside, but keep the inside that lovely raw wood. Should turn out nicely. Not sure what's going to happen, but let's get it on the lathe and let's see what happens. So just starting to turn the initial shape, getting the blank into a nice uniform cylinder. Reason for that is that you can see there is a bit of bouncing around, so if I left it as it was, it wouldn't be a perfect circle. There'd be a few areas that might be a little bit rough or a bit off center. So just getting that lovely smooth finish, and then I can start turning the bowl itself. So just taking the stand away, and that way I can start cutting in to make the base itself. So you can just see here, getting that lovely foot to the bowl. So just starting at the top, getting a nice smooth finish. Also trying to go just beyond the flat plane, so the bowl kind of angles upwards, and then that lovely foot at the bottom. So giving the bowl a really nice sand now, starting at a really coarse grit, around 40 to 60 grit, and finishing at a really smooth grit. I think we finished this bowl at around the 1000-2000 mark. So you'll see in a moment it'll cut from the really rough to the really smooth sandpaper, and there's a transition now. There's a lovely colour change as well as the oil from the wood comes out, and it gets into a really smooth finish. So I've gone for a change of camera angle now, starting to cut the inside of the bowl. This is always one of the hardest parts because you're trying to take a large proportion of the material out. So just starting at the hole that I cut in, and then just gradually and slowly working my way to the outer edge. Try and aim for a relatively thick rim to this bowl. I don't want it to be too thin and dainty. I want it to have quite a bit of substance to it. As you can see there, just starting to cut down deeper and deeper, closer to the edge of the bowl. So now that the bowl has all been hollowed out, it's time to sand it. So again, going to start at a really coarse sandpaper, working our way up to a really fine sandpaper. And the main reason for this is you want to take the last tool marks out with the next sandpaper. So the 80 grit you then want to use to take out the 60 grit marks, the 100 grit will take out the 80 grit, so on and so forth. It gives a really nice smooth finish to the inside of the bowl. I'm using a little tool here just so that I don't get too hot while I'm sanding it down. This takes a lot of the heat away from my hands and it allows me to put a bit more pressure into the bowl to get a really glass-like finish. So I've moved the bowl up onto another turning blank. The reason for doing this is that I want to get the sides hit with the die. When I was using it just on the cardboard, it was hitting the base of the bowl, but there wasn't really much overlap onto the sides. And you can see here, especially with that really big blue or green ridge and that red ridge that's just come on, it's gone right down the edge of the bowl towards the lip. And it just gives a really nice even flow of colour. What I don't want to have is the base absolutely covered with dye and then the sides are very sparse. I want it to have a nice contrast between heavy areas of dye and lighter areas, and I think this process is doing that just fine.
So as with all pieces of art, it just needs a signature. So I'm going to give it a nice big scrawl and try and find somewhere with a little bit of sort of definition. I think maybe here. I think it'll look quite nice. All signed and sealed, my piece of artwork there. So next thing to do, going to get a nice coat of Odie's oil on there, get that wood nice and sealed, and then once it's sealed we'll give it a coat of wax and that'll be the project finished. So there we have the lovely, Jackson Pollock inspired bowl. It's come out really well. Love the way the colours have come out on the bowl itself. You've got all those lovely reds, greens, blues, purples, and it really has that lovely Jackson Pollock feel to it. The base is a little bit heavier than I would have liked. There's quite a bit of colour on the base, but the sides have got that lovely kind of striation and a few blotchy marks there as well. And then just to finish it off, it has got the signature just there on the side. Inside the bowl, nice and clean, didn't go for anything too major. Wanted to keep that lovely natural colour of the wood, and you've got a couple of nice little pieces of sort of almost spalting going on where you've got that lovely differential colourway. So you've got the sort of umber of the yew wood, and then you've just got that little bit of paler wood there at the bottom. All in all, I'd say it's a very strong 8 out of 10. Probably the bowl itself could have done with a little bit more shaping. I probably would have liked the size to go up a bit further into more of a point. It is a little bit straighter than I would have liked, but the finish itself has come out really nicely, and yeah, all in all, very happy with it. So I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If you have, if you could please like and subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification, that'll let you know every time a video goes live. Next video is coming out 2 weeks on Friday, and I think we're going to go back to a resin project. The last few weeks have been all wood projects, so I think it's time that we get a nice fun and funky resin project going on. So that video will come out 2 weeks on Friday. So in the meantime, stay safe, take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you for the next video.